Welcome to Midweek Chill. This is Leo Bray from Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center. Visit us on the web at urbanyoga.org or on Facebook at Kristen Olson's Urban Yoga Center to check out the schedule and stop by the tip jar to make donations. We're going to start Midweek Chill this class, using what the Iyengar yoga folks call a lung bench. And we do this using two blocks. If you don't have blocks, that's okay. You can use rolled towels or blankets, rolled or folded. You can use bolsters if you have bolsters or pillows. Most of us use this block on the middle position. This is going to be for the bottom of the shoulder blades. And then the other block on the low position, and that's going to be for the back of the head. So it's kind of like lying flat on the floor, but really opening up the front of the chest. So come and do it gently. So I like to come down like this. First, you find the shoulder blades, find the block with your shoulder blades rather. And then support your head with your hands, take care of your neck. And where's the block? I put it too far away. And you might find, I'm finding tonight, see, I've had a lot of neck issues, as you guys know. I'm going to put this one on the same height. Now, we don't always do that. Sometimes we do it on the lower position. So you figure that out as you get there. So for me, this is the first time I think I've ever done this with both blocks on the same height, but it's the first time I've done it maybe this year with my neck trouble earlier and then being out of commission after surgery. So that's how we get the upper body set. Lower body, you can kind of do what you want. You might have your legs just extended like this. Or you can plant the soles of your feet. Maybe that feels more steady. It might feel good depending on what's going on in your body to put the soles of your feet together, let your knees splay out. Now, often when we do this, we like to have blocks under the knees. I don't know how many blocks you have. I do have two more over there. I can't reach them though. But I'm feeling okay without them. If you had 4 blocks, you could have 2 under you, under your back and under your head, and then 2 more for your knees. But as I said at the beginning, with the placement of the blocks for the lung bench, you can use other props to support your knees. Do what you like with your hands. Maybe just rest them on the floor. If you're in this position, resting them on the inner thighs can help increase the opening in the hips. Just resting, not pushing. But just the weight of the hands there adds something to the opening here in the front of the hips. But whatever works for you, it might be feeling your breath, resting a hand on your belly, or feeling your heartbeat with a hand on your chest, whatever you want to do. Close your eyes if you like. Noticing your breath. Now, this is how I always start, with noticing the breath. You've never heard me instruct you, I think, to take deep breaths. Just noticing your breath invites it to get deeper and slower. But with the block under your shoulder blades, you really don't want big, deep breaths. So just focus on your breath. It will get deeper and slower on its own. You could, if you want to, gently test it by taking a deeper one, and you'll see what I mean. Take a deep breath here. It's not very comfortable with that support under your back. So just let your breath be. Let it do what it needs to do. It will change on its own. You can scan your body, take in where you're contacting the floor, the mat, the blocks. Shift anything if you need to. I'm noticing I wasn't quite lined up on the shoulder blades. There we go, that's better. One shoulder blade was out of line, and I didn't notice before. And one thing we can do here too, this can be a little tricky. You want to check in with your neck and see if your neck is relaxed. So just notice, like scanning your body, focusing on the neck. And if you detect that there is any degree of engagement in your neck, there's a trick to undo it. So what can happen sometimes when your body is propped up off the floor like this is your body distrusts the support underneath it. Your body likes being on the ground. It feels good. We're hardwired this way. And you put stuff between your body and the ground, like these blocks, it doesn't feel as safe. So your neck might be engaging. The primitive monkey mind thinks it needs to hold the head up. The intellectual mind, the thinking brain, knows that this block isn't going to go anywhere. It's not going to suddenly disappear. Anyway, if you feel that your neck is engaging, what you can do is bring your hands to the sides of your head and deliberately lift your head off the block, supporting it with your hands. And then think of like putting down a baby or a puppy or a kitten. Just let your head back down on the block. Just so gently. And maybe if you had some engagement in the neck, after you do that, the engagement lessens or dissipates, goes away. That's the word. And sometimes the posture you start in suddenly isn't comfortable. I just started to get a cramp in my leg. So I'm going to switch up the posture of my legs. So we've been focusing on the chest, focusing on the breathing, on the neck. Scan your whole body, take in everything that's going on. Especially noting anything that doesn't feel good, so you can stay mindful of it as we practice, knowing that you can skip or modify anything. Even in these slow, super gentle practices, there are sometimes things that we'll find aren't right for us on a given day. Things that we need to do differently than someone else would do them. And that is always okay. We're not going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths as we often do before we start moving around, because deep breaths, as I said, aren't comfortable with the block under your shoulder blades. Let's just start some small movements with the hands and feet. And maybe some very small side-to-side movements with the head. Stay mindful of that neck. Now we want to really take our time to come out of this strong supported posture. I find the best way is to draw the knees up and plant the feet. Pressing into the feet is very steadying. And then what I like to do is use my arms. So pick a side. I'm going to go with this right elbow here. I'm planting my right elbow and making a fist with my right hand. And I'm leaning on that fist with my left hand. And I'm just going to tip my legs to the right, tipping my head to the right. Now I'm going to use my arms. I'm not going to roll off the blocks onto the floor. I'm going to use my neck, use my arms, move my legs around. Just gently sit up. And it's okay if you want to pause in the fetal position before you sit up too. I usually cue it like that, and I simply neglected to. Now I'm going to sit up on my blocks and use them for support here too. Sitting up on the front edge of some kind of support. That's the front of the hips open, just similar to that posture I was in with my feet together. So just on the front edge of it, let your pelvis tilt forward, open up. If that works for you, just sit or kneel in a way that's comfortable to you. It doesn't have to be like this. Maybe you hate this posture. Resting your hands on your knees or your thighs. Inhale, draw your heart forward and let your head tip back. Exhale to draw your heart back and let your head tip forward and down. You take a few more breaths with that seated cow pose and cat pose. And after the next exhale, just sit up tall. Find the length in your spine again. Bring your arms out to the sides, rest your fingertips on the floor. Inhale, lift your left arm up alongside your ear. As you exhale, reach across to your right and lean into your right hand, allowing your head to rest wherever your neck feels most comfortable. You take some trial and error sometimes to figure out what that position is. Inhale to bring yourself upright. And as you exhale, come into a twist with your left hand on the floor behind you and your right hand on your left leg. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to twist some more. Just seeing with each breath if there's further to go. Let yourself unwind and come through center. Inhale to raise your right arm up alongside your ear. And as you exhale, reach to the left. I don't know if the sound of running water is reaching the microphone. I have this water filtration system, and the water goes through like 3 or 4 different levels of filtering. And over a half hour ago, I poured some water into the top of it and it started to cycle through. And it's funny, the thing has a mind of its own. It was quiet until a moment ago. And then, I don't know, some water started to go from one stage to another. Maybe you guys were there last year when the thing sprung a leak on me and I had to jump up during class. Inhale, come upright. And exhale, come into your other twist. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, twist some more. I'm happy to report there's no leaks in the water system. I'm probably the only one who was worried about that, but all is well. Let yourself unwind and come through center. Rest your hands in front of you and just walk them forward as far as you want. Maybe that's as far as you can, but it doesn't have to be as far as you can. Let your neck relax and your head hang. Breathe into your back, breathe into anywhere tightness registers. Anywhere you need some more room, some more ease, some more comfort. Exhale tension. Exhale anything that's not serving you. There's some discomfort or some pain coming up. Let it go. Inhaling, walk your hands back. Use those strong arms to lift your torso. Inhale your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Interlace your fingers. Reach your palms forward. Raise up overhead. Good. Lower down in front again. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale up through center. Exhale out and down. Let's go through that a couple more times. It looked like everybody was doing it pretty well. Inhale up. Exhale down. Try interlacing the other way, that way that feels weird. And then reach forward. And then reach up. Then lower. Bring your hands in. Inhale straight up. Exhale out and down. I love how that feels. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Interlace whichever way you want. Reach forward. Raise up. Lower down. Bring your hands in. And up. Out and down. Lift your left shoulder towards your ear. Slide it back. Let it down. And your right shoulder up, back, and down. Inhale, reach out to the sides. As you exhale, you can reach for your shoulder blades and hug yourself, or if you like, take eagle arms. If you do eagle arms, then reach forward and up with your hands and your elbows. Breathing into the space behind your heart, space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, open up. And as you exhale, cross the opposite way. So we began practice with a strong heart opener for the front of the heart space. The heart space is three-dimensional. Here we open the back of the heart space. In our side bends, we opened the sides of the heart space. And in our twists, we open those areas in between, because the heart space is not a box, it's not a rectangle. It's sort of oval. Inhale, open up. Exhale, out and down. Take your time to come up onto your hands and knees. I'm going to grab a drink on my way there. Still hot and humid here. Not Palm Springs hot, but we got you beat on the humidity. Reach back and press into the ball of your left foot. On an inhale, reach your right arm to the side. On the next inhale, pick your foot up, reach straight back. If you like, bend your knee, reach back. See about grabbing your foot or your ankle, kicking into your hand, lifting your knee and your chin. Release, lower down, take a few breaths of cow pose, cat pose. The heart space is opened way up now. These movements are likely much bigger than the seated cow-cat breaths that we did a little while ago. And after your next exhale, come back through table. When you're ready, reach back and press into the ball of your right foot. On an inhale, reach your left arm to the side. On an inhale, pick your foot up, reach straight back. Bend your knee, reach back and see about that bind. Release and lower down. And take a few more cow-cat breaths. And after your next exhale, take your time, make your way back and down to child's pose. Of course, modifying it any way you want, supporting with props as you like. Notice your breath, scan your body. Slowly bring yourself forward and up. We're going to stretch our feet and do some breath work while we stretch our feet. So curl your toes under. From table here, curl the toes under. Walk your hands in towards your knees. You could have blocks under your hands if you want. Come up standing on your knees. And then you're going to sit back towards your heels and grab a block for demonstrating. I usually sit on my heels because that feels good to me. This can produce a lot of sensation in your feet. My feet are just used to doing this, and this much feels great to me. But you might put a block like that on the floor between your ankles and sit on the block. You might have a block or some other prop between your heels and your butt. Or maybe you're like me and you like to sit on your heels. And we're going to do this special breath called bee's breath. But the longer, more formal name of it translates to Queen of the Black Bees. The Sanskrit word is Brahmari. But anyway, it's a buzzing sound. You take a big inhale, and with your mouth closed, you just make this buzzing sound. You can close your eyes if you like. It's a great way to clear your mind. This can be something that it might help you just calm down if you're stressed. It can help you sort of prepare your brain for sleep. It's a great way to quiet a group of children at the beginning of a yoga class. Although they like to buzz really loudly and get competitive about it, it does have a calming effect. Big inhale. I'm going to do 3 breaths. I have long breaths. Maybe you'll do more than 3, and you can change your position anytime you need to. Then you can tip forward onto your hands and untuck your toes. The counter pose is tapping your feet on the floor. I'm going to take this rolled up mat and use that to tap my feet on, because I know there are people staying downstairs in the Airbnb, and I don't want to bang on the floor too loudly. So I'm just modifying here. by putting a rolled up mat between my feet and the floor. I would love to just bang my feet really hard on the floor, but it's 7:45 here in the evening. I don't think they're sleeping or anything right now, but somehow I feel differently about banging my feet on the floor than I would if it were in the middle of the day. Let's step the right foot up between the hands, and you can have blocks under your hands here if you like. And you can stay in a low lunge like this, or if you want, you can come up to a runner's lunge. I'm just going to stay with the low one. You decide for yourself. Lean into your left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm out and up, and look up towards your hand. And if you want to play with a variation, you can bend your arm, reach the back of your hand towards your opposite hip. Check out that half bind. See how that feels. Reach back up if you're in the bind. Exhale, everybody bring the hand down. And we're going to twist the opposite way. Lean into the right hand. Inhale, reach the left arm out and up. And look up towards your hand. And again, if you want, you could bring the back of your hand towards your opposite hip. Here we go, modifying again. My leg is cramping. I'm going to curl my toes under and engage my calf. My calf is cramping. I must be low on electrolytes today. I'll eat a banana right after class. If you're in the bind, reach up again. Exhale, bring your hand down. And just pause. We're going to switch sides. Bring the right knee back down to the floor. And your left foot forward. And again, if you want, you can come up to runner's lunge, or you can stay in the lower lunge. And in this low lunge, you can engage your foot like I'm doing, or untuck your toes. Let's see how this goes. Maybe I won't get a leg cramp. Lean into your right hand. Inhale, reach your left arm out and up. Look up at your hand. Yes, we just did this arm, but we have the legs the other way now. If you want, you can do the half bind. Good. Undoing any binds. Exhale, let's all bring the hand down. Lean into the left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm out and up. And look up towards your hand. If you want, take that half bind. If you're in the half bind, reach up. Exhaling, bring your hand down. Step your left knee back down to the floor. Pause for a drink here, pardon me. My throat trying to go. Let's make our way to a seated position. Use your arms to open your legs up. Still using your arms to help your legs throughout. Bend the right leg, bring the right foot over to the left thigh or left knee, like tree pose. Pivot your torso, aim the center of your chest at your left foot, and flex your left foot back towards you. Inhale, reach up overhead. Exhale, fold down over your leg. Let your head hang, let your neck go limp. Reach your right arm way out to the side and then up alongside your ear. Picture your right hand coming overhead towards your left. Head is wherever the neck is comfortable. As I see my right knee wobbling here, if your leg doesn't feel comfortable hanging in the air like that, you could tuck a block under your leg. Mine's doing this little bouncing thing, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Feels just fine. Reach slowly back up and back out to the right. And swing the arm across, bring your right hand to your left hand. Inhale, walk your hands up your legs and sit up. Use your arms to arrange your legs the opposite way. Right leg extended, left leg bent. Pivot your torso. Flex your right foot. Now I can demonstrate it. If you want, you can have a block there on your knee. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down. Nice passive neck, relaxed. Reach your left arm way out to the side and then up alongside your head. Left hand over towards the right hand. Reach slowly up and out to the left. And take your time to bring your arm across. Inhaling, walk your hands up your leg and sit up. Use your arms to extend the left leg just part way, and then bend the right, bring the soles of your feet together, and leave this big space between your heels and your pelvis. And two ways you can go from here. You can reach over your ankles and grab the mat, or reach under your ankles and grab the mat. Either way, walk your hands forward on the mat. Let your neck relax, let your head hang. Breathe into the back of your body, breathe into any tight spots that might still be there. Slowly scoot your hands back and press up away from the floor. Keep your feet together and bring them in closer. Maybe see how close you can get your heels to your pelvis without straining anything, of course. Interlace your fingers. Hold your toes between your hands. Wriggle on your seat to tilt your pelvis forward. Shift. Feel for the bones in your seat getting closer to the floor. Shifting the flesh side. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips with a long spine. Take your time. See how far you can fold keeping your spine long. And yes, it's okay to use your arms to draw yourself down a little more, depending on where your limbs are. Sometimes the elbows or forearms come to the inside of the legs, and it's okay if it feels good for you to press down on your legs with your arms. It's also okay, of course, if your arms don't touch your legs and you don't press down like that. Wherever the long spine stops folding forward, then let the neck relax. Let your head hang down, breathe into your hips. And now slowly sit yourself up. Bring your hands to the outside of your knees and let your arms lift your knees towards each other so your feet rest, soles of your feet rest on the mat. I knew I was missing a word there. Bring your hands behind you. Lean into your hands. Wiggle your feet out by the edges of the mat, or somewhere thereabouts, a wider stance. And play with letting your knees go back and forth. And if you want, as your knees go to the right, turn your head to the left. And vice versa. And sometimes the knees will come down and touch the floor. Sometimes they don't. Or maybe you don't like your feet that far apart. Maybe your knee touches the opposite foot as it comes down, or the opposite calf. Whatever works for you. Now, sometimes we like to explore a bigger movement here. I don't know yet if I'm going to like this, but I'm going to try it. So as the knees go to the right, you can lift your left hand and lift your left hip. See how you like that? And of course, you can do it on either side. Maybe it feels good on one side and not on the other. I'm finding for me today, this evening, it's feeling good on both sides. I'm going to do it a couple more times. And you don't have to do the bigger movement. You can stick to the lower, smaller version if you like. Sometimes this feels really nice after the other hip work that we were doing. It's like a gentler, more accessible version of flipping your dog when you're in downward facing dog, and then you go to three-legged dog, and then you kind of tip over. It's a little scary when you're new at it. In some parts of the US, it's known as wild thing. In some places, they call it rock star. The Sanskrit name, I can't remember, but it translates to something beautiful like the ecstatic unfolding of the enraptured heart. Sanskrit's amazing. They put all that in one word. Let's wrap that up and come down onto our backs. With your heels in close to your butt, feet about hip width apart. If you want, you can put a block between your knees on the middle position. Press into the soles of your feet and inhale to lift your hips up. If you want a deeper heart opener here, you can clasp your hands under you. Reach your knuckles towards your heels. Wriggle your shoulder blades towards each other. Keep your neck relaxed. Let your head rest on the ground. Yes, this makes you talk kind of funny. Aren't you glad you don't have to talk while you do it? If you're in the spine, unclasp your hands. Exhaling, slowly let your hips down. Explore floating up and down for a few breaths at your own pace. Inhale to go up, and exhale to go down. And don't mind me, I'm checking out something I can't read here on my screen. What is going on there? Okay, never mind. Nothing we need to worry about right now. Just something I hadn't seen before. Suddenly appearing on my Zoom. Not impacting what we're doing. When you're ready, you can make your way to a supported bridge. You can keep going up and down some more if you like. Or you can join me by putting a block at the base of your spine and coming down to rest on it. Now, I like to enjoy supported bridge just like this. Some people like to play with lifting their feet and exploring other leg positions. You could have your legs bent and hanging. You can have your legs extended up. You could even bring your hands to your legs. Some people like that stuff. I like to just keep my feet planted. Allowing your body to soften down against the support of the block, softening around the support of the block. As your heart space did when we began our practice, lying on top of a couple of blocks. Here too, the body may be engaging in subtle ways, thinking that it needs to hold you up when the block is already holding you up. You can help release any such engagement by imagining your breath moving through the block. I don't know why that helps, but it does. Sending a thank you to whoever first noticed that and came up with it and started to spread the word. Sometimes I can remember who taught me something and sometimes I can't. It's nice to remember the teaching. It's nicer to remember both, but what can you do? That's the nature of our memories. When you're ready to come out, I'm ready now. Press into your feet, inhale, lift up your hips, take your time. Take your block out of there. Exhale, slowly come down. Let's just pause. Let the sacrum reconnect with the ground for a few breaths. Maybe take in the difference there. Notice how your body really does enjoy being on the ground more than it enjoys being up on the block. Let's move the blocks out of the way. Draw your knees towards your chest, hug your knees, and rock and roll to massage your back against the ground. And for our supine twists, we're gonna take some deep twists. Of course, you can decide how deep it's gonna be for you. I'll explain how to regulate that. Plant your feet again. We'll start here with the feet planted. Cross your right knee over your left knee. Now we're gonna do each twist for a couple of minutes, like we sometimes do with that strap sequence. We're not doing the strap sequence in this evening's practice. Arms go out to the sides with the palms up. Now you could just twist from here. Let your legs drop to the left and turn your head to the right. Try to keep your shoulders grounded. For a deeper twist, you could, before you start to twist, you can press into the ball of your foot and lift your left heel, or lift your whole left foot and maybe even draw your knees in closer. Basically, the closer your knees are to your torso, the deeper the whole thing is going to feel, and the more tricky it will be to keep your shoulders grounded. So you decide how it's going to go. Legs go left, head goes right. I'm going to set a timer. We'll do the 2-minute thing. And just breathe. You can always back off a bit. You can always start over. Let your breath ring you out. And you may get some cracking sounds on the old spine. If you're like me, my lower back just started to do some of that. A little bit of the sound of the chiropractor without the chiropractor press. My former sister-in-law would refer to these cracking sounds in the body as free adjustments. I find I've set up a little too close to my wall. That's why I'm doing this funny little scoot. And now I have more room for my legs to move. That feels nice. Slowly bring your head and your knees back up to center. Uncross your legs and plant your feet. Let's just pause. And when you're ready, you can cross your left knee over your right knee. Same options. Maybe you keep your right foot planted and start to twist. Maybe you lift your heel. Maybe you lift your whole foot. Maybe you draw your knees in even closer. When you're ready, legs to the right, head to the left. Slowly bring everything back up to center. Uncross your legs. Press the soles of your feet on the floor. Take a couple breaths. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees splay out to the sides. Bring your hands to your legs. Lift your feet and reach your hands down and see if you can maybe bring your hands to your shins, maybe to your ankles, maybe to your feet. And just explore pressing the soles of the feet together. Slowly nudging your feet down towards the floor. Pressing your sacrum against the floor. Yes, it's also a pretty deep stretch for the arms, shoulders, maybe further opening in the hips. We've done so much for the hips here this evening. Start to raise your feet and relax your arms. Let go of your legs. Nudge your knees towards each other. Press your feet. Draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock and roll, massage your back against the ground. Reach your feet up. Reach your hands up. You can grab your legs or your feet and play with bending and straightening your arms and legs in happy baby pose, or join me and I'm going to do gorilla on its back. Gorilla is a standing pose where we slide our hands under our feet like this. I'm sliding my hands over my feet, but picture you standing in a forward fold with your knees bent a lot. You stand on your hands and then you gently lengthen your legs. So maybe you like how that feels, or maybe you return to happy baby, or maybe there's some other inversion that you like. This can be a way of exploring, working our way towards plow pose by continuing to press into the feet. This isn't quite a plow pose, but it's on the way there. I'm not going to try to get into a full expression of plow here this evening. But this feels good, this playing an inverted gorilla. There may be some other name for this. I don't know. Invert for as long as you like, in whatever way you like. When you feel complete, make your way to a resting pose of your choice. As my foot encountered my rolled up mat down here, it occurs to me to demonstrate a rolled up mat can work like a bolster, and it can be nice sometimes in Shavasana to have a bolster under your knees. And maybe you're not even in cobra pose, you're in some other posture. Doesn't matter. As long as you're comfortable. Maybe closing your eyes is comfortable and maybe it isn't. Maybe you come back to focusing on your breath. Maybe you simply give your mind permission to wander. Give yourself some even deeper breaths. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Start to move your hands and feet some more, your wrists and your ankles. Gently, if you like, turn your head side to side. Start to move your arms and legs even more. Take your time. When you're ready to gently sit up. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you for joining me in practice this evening. The light within me sees and bows to that same light within each of you. Stay.